I'm happy to introduce Janine Cummings. She's our judge for tonight. She was born in New York City. She did not receive formal training in photography, but photographs were a major part of her growing up. Janine grew up during what she thinks was one of the best times to be living, even in its turbulence. Janine's family, like many during that time, always took pictures. Her parents always had photographs of family. She was always intrigued. Janine loved looking at the old pictures of her family because they told her of a time before hers. Janine's great uncle bought the first Polaroid land cameras and she was hooked. She enjoyed looking at Ebony magazine, Jet magazine, Life, National Geographic, and Look magazines. Gordon Parks and Moneta Sleep Jr. told a story of a nation and cities. James Van Der Zee showed her Harlem life. Look, Life, and Nat Geo showed her the world. She started out wanting to take portraits because she felt she could make people feel comfortable in front of the lens. But as Janine studied and read, she wanted her stories to tell a story. She wanted her photos, I'm so sorry. She wanted her photos to tell a story like the ones Janine used to read in the magazines. Janine has photographed for the Leadership Conference for Civil and Human Rights, LCCHR, Bowie State University, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society Mid-Atlantic Region, Flashes of Hope, DCTV, Howard University Law Alumni, and Prince George's County Public Schools. She's a member of the Professional Photography Association and the National Press Photographers Association. She is currently the president of the Bowie Crofton Camera Club in Maryland. It looks like, Janine, you have traveled a long way without formal training in photography. That's a super impressive resume you have there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. And if everybody could just give a hello to Janine.
Thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, no problem. No, not a problem at all.
Okay, so I'm going to share the screen now, and I've muted everybody else. Hold on one second. And get this out of the way. There we go. Everybody see that? Shake your thumbs up if you do. All right. All right, we have two categories as usual for tonight. It's the general and monochrome. In the general category, we have 40 images. And I shouldn't have 40, but
I was sent 37.
well, I'm on the wrong one. That's right.
Okay.
We have 37 images.
Okay.
And sure, yep, okay. And we have 5 places and 5 honorable mentions. Notice how the screen didn't change because it was the same graphic. So here we go. First up is Low Tide in Ireland, Barb Lawton.
I like this picture a lot. It was one of my, it was one of the finals that I considered because in Washington, D.C., where they would have this ferry, they had locks, and, you know, to let the ferry go up to a certain level, they would, you know, let the water, they would dam the water, let it come in and float it up. And then, you know, then the ferry would travel down this canal. And then when it came back, they lowered it. And I just was intrigued by this one. I think the composition is good. I like the colors with it. Do you need for me to say whether or not it's in or out? Or...
No.
Okay, all right.
We show the ones that didn't place first, and then we get to the honorable mentions.
Okay. All right, this one was done. This is a very well done picture. I just was looking at, I had a lot to choose from this time.
Next up is Stratified Niece Doug Mitchell. I'm not probably saying that right.
Yeah. Yeah, this picture is a very good picture, but the only thing with this picture is that I've seen it before. And I'm not saying with your club, I've seen it with other pictures from other people. I believe this may be up in Maine, I'm not sure, or Nova Scotia, but my only problem with this was really that I've seen it a lot and it didn't give me a new perspective or a new way of looking at something. It's a little bit soft on some of the striations of the rock, but it's a good picture. but I think maybe a little bit, I don't know, maybe a little bit more contrast with it. But this one wasn't giving me a new perspective of this because I've seen this shot before. It's like when you shoot something like the Eiffel Tower, how can you do it different? Because we've seen the Eiffel Tower so much. Okay.
Okay, next up is Surrounded by Fall, Neil Shapiro.
This was another one that I had considered. I like this one a lot. The colors, the waterfall, I like the fact that it was on a slow shutter speed, and the rocks almost looked like they may have carvings in them. I would maybe crop it just a little bit, but other than that, it's a good picture. It's a very good picture. I just would maybe crop it in a little bit. But there's again, I just was looking at other things, and this one was out for me, but it was one of the finals that I considered definitely.
Okay, next up is Antediluvian Gateway. Doug, you got to come up with easier titles here.
Yeah. This picture I liked. I thought her body color looked a little bit off, but and actually I looked at it on another computer, and I know that I'm seeing that screen was really off. This is a nice picture. It's the tones are nice, and then she has that white hair. But I think originally when I looked at it, the tone of her body color seemed off to me. And I can now see, when I looked at the pictures again on this computer, it was different. So, but this is a nice picture, very nice picture, very subtle. It's a mood. It's like the title says, antediluvian, like an old-fashioned gateway. But I didn't choose this one, but this one was very well done.
Okay,
I probably chose another category.
Next up is Ring of Brodker Orkney, Dow Smith.
This was another one. A lot of the pictures I found was very interesting. I like the rock formations and things like this. And this one you have, I would love to know the scale of these rocks. And it looks like on the side at the top, it has trees. I don't know if those are just trees, maybe some bushes, but I like the fact you have 3 of those stones to the right, and you got 3 stones to the left. And then you have this big stone right here in the middle. This was one that I considered. Again, this was one of my finalists. But this is very, very well done though.
Okay, next up is Instacart Meets Venice, Sharon Silversmith.
This was another interesting one, because I never think of, you always think of Venice with just the gondolas and, everything is nice and tidy and touristy. But COVID's taught us a lot about how to do things different, I guess, all over the world. I like this, but I thought it was a little busy a little bit in the back. I don't know whether or not I would have trimmed some of it off on this boat or just take it, because I like the boats on the other side as well. I think those are ferries, and this one is a delivery boat. It was interesting. The subject's interesting, and it gave me a different view of Venice that I've never seen before.
Next up is Fire Sky on Norman's Ridge, Janice Pritchett.
There were 2 of these, and I like the isolation of the house. I like the sky. I would maybe come in on the foreground a little bit, and so that it's really like the sky and the house. But I saw this image, this similar image at a different time of the year, which is always interesting, and I like that one better. Some of the colors are a little bit washed out on this with the sky. I don't know, the sky is very dramatic though, but they're a little bit, I just prefer the other image better that was taken at Norman's Ridge.
Okay, next up is Troy Lines and Textures, Barb Lawton.
This image I liked a lot. I liked that it was different. I would really like to now talk to the photographer in terms of how it was taken, because you have that diagonal line. If you're ever in Lightroom and there's a part, if you crop it, I think when you go into the crop tool, although everything with Lightroom has changed, you can get different, you can get the spiral, you can get the rule of thirds. You can get different ones. And this reminds me of the shows like a zigzag. It's like a zigzag of lines going through. So this one had, can y'all still hear me? Because I'm getting something saying my internet
Yes.
connection is not good. But this one is, I like this one. And I thought, maybe I didn't. I thought I had chosen this. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I like this one a lot. The only thing, if I was to do something, and you know what, it's just me, you know, everybody, you know, you're the photographer and it's your decision, is what you want. But right on that lower part behind, under that diagonal line, you have something sticking out the building. And I would maybe take that out and just continue with the brick there. Just keep showing the brick, you know, do a content aware, something like that. That's just me. Does it take away from it a lot? No, not at all. And I like the colors in here. I really do.
Okay, next up is Feeder Dam Trail, Alan Wiggins.
This one was another nice one. That, you know, and I like the fact that the person walking in this picture is way down. So I'm wondering what's going on, what continues down this trail. The colors are very nice. I love the reflection. Again, I would maybe crop in just a little bit off the right, but I like that S curve of this. I like the leaves you have in the foreground, those red leaves. And then as you go down, it just looks like a very nice place to walk. It really does. And the reflection is very clear. The water is very still. Very nice. And the sky is good too. The sky is good.
Next up is Yummy, Ronald Spear.
Okay. This picture, I try to look at the picture before I look at the title. And this picture for me is just not as clear as you know, I could see that I guess it's a duck. I guess it's a duck. I'm not sure, and you can correct me later. But I can't see what it's trying to eat, but that wasn't it. I don't think the bird is lit enough. It's not lit up enough. It's just kind of blending in, and it's a little bit soft. But I think, you know, capturing this bird doing this is very nice. But I just think there's some way that we can bring that out a little bit more.
Okay, next up is Friendship, Ronald Spear.
This to me was more, it's a nice picture. It was more of a photograph of these two dogs who are friends, walking along the beach or along a shoreline with the stick, one following the other. Looks like they're having a good time. The dog on the left is almost out the picture. But sometimes they're black dogs, and it's hard to see their eyes. Some, you know, it's like in sports, you want to see what the you need to see the ball or something when it's a sports picture like basketball or baseball. You need to have the ball in the picture. With animals, you need to see the eyes, and I'm not seeing the eyes on this. They're just kind of dark. And maybe again, take out some of that water, because you can see they're along the shoreline by just where they're running. So this one I took out.
Okay, next up is Red Pine Cone, Joe Catronio.
This was I like this picture. The depth of field is very shallow, so you focus on that. But again, this was one of those pictures where you know, I didn't see anything different with it. It's very well done, but I just wasn't seeing, it's a usual shot. What could make this shot something different? And that's what I was looking for. There were a lot of good images that I looked at, and this is a very, very good image, but I look for what's, have I seen something like this before? It's like the Ganesh one. So this one I took out as well, but the colors are nice.
Next up is Red Barn in Montana, Kim Koza.
Yeah. This one, if I remember correctly, there was an image like this last time. It was, I think it was called Americana, and I really liked it. This is a nice image, very nice image. Nice sky. You see the, I guess that's wheat. It's a wheat field or something. Again, I would crop in on this a little bit from the left because the bush on the right, we don't need. I like the fencing and everything, but, and maybe come down a little bit on the sky, but this one I took out. It's a nice image, but again, I was looking at images which really kind of made an impact for me. The composition is good.
Okay.
Although it's kind of right smack dab in the middle horizontally, but it is off to the left. So this one I eliminated as well.
Next up is Bridge, Paula Keefe.
Okay. This looks like an interesting space here, but it's a little bit soft. I like how you can look through this bridge and you see that there's something else going on, another spot, but it's not level. It needs to be leveled, and it's a little soft. I don't know where the focus point was on this, because if you look at it, it's a little bit blurry all around, the trees on the outside and even going through. So I'm not sure where the focal point was. I just think it was just out of focus. But I do like on that bridge, that yellow, the yellow striations of the rock. So I would try doing this again, because I like the perspective that this image was taken. And it's like it's framing. You got a frame in there of the rocks on the other side. I like that yellow, but it needs to be straightened out. It's kind of crooked.
Next up is Delight, Linda Tomasulo.
Another good image. Is very well done. I think it's very well done. It has, I know, some filters on it to soften it and give it a nice look. I don't know if I would maybe even make this a horizontal image as opposed to a vertical image, so that you're getting more of the image. This again was something that I've seen before. It didn't have the impact, but I do like the colors. I do like the technique that was used to take the image. So, but I know I eliminated this one.
Next up is Watkins Glen Paradise, Janet Kaywood. Oops, overhit the button. There we go.
This was another one that I considered as well. I love the leaves that you can see on the rocks. Again, and I will apologize for it, I thought it was a little bit darker when I initially saw it on the side up by the rocks, right? Because the bridge is clearer in the background. The waterfalls are shot beautifully. But I thought the two side panels near the fall and across from the fall was too dark originally, but I see it's not as dark as I thought. But this was one, again, that I had considered, definitely. It's I love these rocks.
Next up is Coneflower, Claudia Jakubowski.
Okay. This was well done. I like the colors in it, and I guess those are the actual colors of the flower. this nice shallow depth of field. But again, this was something that, you know, besides, except for the colors, and it's very well done. The post-processing to this was very well done. It's just that this was something that I had seen before and it wasn't anything different. You know, so I didn't pick this one.
Okay, next up is Magnificence, Jana Kaywood.
This one too, this was another, all the waterfall pictures were very nice. I find the foreground just a little bit distracting for me. And I'm looking at the top where the waterfalls form. It almost, I don't know if those are branches up there or what, but it almost seems like it has a specific shape. This is very well done again, very well done. But I was a little bit distracted by it. It's, you know, what do you want me to focus on? Do you want me to focus more on this canyon or this area with the waterfall, or do you want me to see more of the foreground? I would maybe take some of it out, but I could see why it was left in there because of the colors. It gives a little bit of color to this.
Okay, next up is Catterskill Falls Jumper, Alan Wiggins.
This was another good one. The falls are very well done. I almost think that the person in it, because they seem, that was distracting for me. And I thought the person in it took away from it. And it was almost like it could be a composite, I'm not sure. And that person was put in there because they seem tall. And maybe they are tall, but for me, the adding the person in it took away from it a little bit for me. Okay, but in terms of how you captured the falls, it's beautiful, really is.
Okay, next up is Water Drops, Grass and Sunshine, Joe Catronio.
I like this, you know, you just have really, you know, the droplets and it's on grass, which is really, really nicely done. It's almost an abstract. And the reflections through the water droplets are very, very good.
Okay, next up is Three Red Doors, Sean Sullivan.
I love the red doors. My door to my house is red. I think these are a little bit redder, but I like that red. I like the color palette on this. You have the red, you have the white, you have the black, and then you have the different shades of gray on there. And then you have the tiles, I guess, in the street. I'm not sure, that's also gray. And then you have that sand color in there. This was very well done. Very well done.
Next up, Street View, Marguerite Hill.
I like this too. I like doing street photography too. And I have questions about this house. You know, initially I thought that doorway was so dark that you couldn't see it, but now I can see it better. I still liked it though, it's because it made me wonder what's behind that door. And then you have this peace sign, and then you see the pumpkins outside. It was nice. It had me ask questions about it. And it's an old house. How long has that house been there? Nicely done. I think I don't know, I think I want to see a little bit more of it, of this house. And it was like to see it, you know, just a little bit more of the house. I like the windows. The peace sign is interesting though, but I think I want to see more of the house. I think you maybe cropped it too much. I don't know what's going on to the left, and I would maybe want to see that.
Okay. Next up is Fairy Tale Land, Claudia Jakubowski.
Oh yeah, this was nice with the castles, and looks like something from what's the place that Harry Potter lives, in the front, in the foreground. And you have the castle in the back. It does look like a fairy tale land. Very interesting architecture. But I think,
Oh.
hmm,
Next up is End of Life, Robert Neer.
this one was very nicely done too. I just think, again, this was, it's very nicely done. But again, it's something that I've seen before, you know, in terms of, you know, the treatment of the leaves and things like that. But it's a very, very nice capture. Very nice. I like that black background. I like the coloring of the leaves, and it just, you know, they're just hanging on. End of Life. Very nicely done.
And next up is General Philip Sheridan and Friends, Rich Schreibstein.
This was an interesting one too, because the general's horse is almost like it's pulling back, and you have the skateboarder. You have so many lines. You have the lines of the pedestal. You know, you have the skateboarder who's going forward. It looks like the general's horse is pulling back. I like the way this is positioned here. And then the different lines on the pedestal, because it goes from low to high. Then you have that straight one going across. There's a lot of lines in this. It was nicely done. Very nicely done.
Next up is Vermont Waterfall, Bill Lanahan.
Another nice waterfall. There were plenty of let me just say this, all the waterfalls were nice, all of them, and were great captures. This didn't have an impact on me. You know, it was like, I've seen it before, and I apologize for that. But this is nice. You know, the sun coming through the leaves and everything. That's very, very nicely done. Nice foreground. But I don't think it had the impact that I would have wanted. I don't know what you could have done different, because it's a good picture. It's a very nice picture.
Okay. Next up is Blue Jacaranda Tree, Phil
This was
Olivo.
interesting. Yeah, I like this. This was very interesting. I love the colors. The color palette on this is really nice. You have that purple, you have that like that dark teal blue, you got a little yellow in there. It's growing, I guess, on the house or right very close to the house. And then you have that purple in the street. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. And then you have the writing.
Honorable mentions. First up is Center of Attention, Linda Tomasula.
Yeah, this was that butterfly is so sharp, and the flower that it's on is very sharp. The color palettes of all these images were very, very nice. And then you have a shallow depth of field. I don't care about the flower on the left, and then there's a flower in the back. That's not distracting to me. Only thing is that maybe a little bit under that wing, I would maybe take out the little bit of that leaf from the flower in the back. But other than that, this was spot on. It really was. Look at the detail in those wings and in those dots.
Okay, next up is, our next honorable mention is Hustling, Bill Lanahan.
This, look at the angle that the photographer took. This was very, very nice. I mean, they are almost on their sides. And I think this one had an impact as soon as I saw it, because I was like, look at that angle, and they're still riding. You know, they're not skidding, they're riding. And I believe that first motorcycle rider, his knee is probably touching the ground at that point. And I guess the photographer was at a very low angle taking this. Very nicely done. Very nice. I like the action of this one.
Okay, our next honorable mention is Sunrise Stroll, Sean Sullivan.
I thought this was yours, Sean, because I'm looking at your background. Again, the color palette of this is nice. And you see the sun on the waves. You see the sun on the back of the walker's back. And then you have the birds, the blue, all of that. This is very well done. And then you have the lines. I guess it was a tractor or something riding on the beach. You have those lines. You have the lines of the waves. You have the horizon. And then the starburst of the sun is just really, really pretty. Really pretty. Very nicely done.
And next honorable mention is dining area, Kim Koza.
This was old versus new to me. I don't know if this is a composite or what. The only thing, because you have the modern chairs and the table, and then what looks to me to be like hay, rolls of hay at the top. The only thing was that roll on the right is just coming down a little bit too much. I would have kept it up where the other ones were. But I think this was old versus new, modern versus maybe rural. So I just thought that this was a very interesting image.
Okay. Next, last honorable mention, Crossroads after closing, Robert Neer.
Yeah, Robert, the umbrella made it for me. The mood, I like the it's like it's foggy, but it's not. It probably may have been raining, but stopped. It's closed, it's dark, it's late. I think I like, again, the color palette. You have a golden color, you have like you have a golden color, you have the gray and the silver type buckets, and that yellow, and it's like a greenish tone. Nice tones, nice color tones. Very nice color tones.
Okay, our winners in 5th place. The chosen one, Phil Olivo.
I like this. I question a little bit the light on the cross of the chair, but I do know that there is sunlight coming in because I could tell by the arm, it's like a sunlight coming straight down on that chair. And you might have embellished it a little bit more, but it speaks a lot. It's like the title says, the chosen one. Very nicely done. You have that repeating pattern of chairs. You get you can see that these chairs were probably handmade. And this is just an interesting place to look at. And the tones, and it's just that one chair that's getting that type of light. I think though, if you added that light to the cross there, I would just tone it down just a little bit, but I see what you did. I really do. And on the back of the chair, but very nice, very nice.
Okay, in 4th place, I Falls, Neil Shapiro.
This was another one. It looks like an eye. It looks like an eye. And then again, to see the people, I think it was good to have people there. I see 2 people walking, and you have that sunlight coming in, and you have the clouds, and then it just, it's just like you're just looking out forever. And then you have this waterfall coming in. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. And the texture.
3rd place, Urban Backpacking, Rich Schreibstein.
This picture I really liked because it almost looks like a painting. It looks like a painting that I've seen before. But because when you look at these girls walking, look at their arms, look at their legs, look at how they're walking, and they're just kind of complimenting each other as they walk. And then that yellow wall. This was just I really like this picture a lot. I do. And it's really the position, and it must be a really steep hill. I'm thinking it is, just by the way they're walking and the way their body positions are. Nicely done.
Okay, in 2nd place, Castle Sinclair and Gerningo, Caithness, Scotland. I'm
The
sure our
subject-
features.
The subject of this picture interested me a lot because I was trying to look, I actually looked this up on the net, on the internet to find out more about this place. And even the images that I saw online, to me, were not as good as this. I like the rocks, I like the formations, and I was like, and at one time they thought it might have been 2 castles, but it was really 1. And I'm just wondering, how did they get to where they were going here? And you know, where the water is, was that once part of the castle or the grounds and it's just washed over the centuries or what? But the subject of this was very interesting to me. And again, those are my rocks there.
And our first place winner, Dawn at Norman's Ridge, Janice Pritchett.
Yeah, this is the one that I said I preferred to the other one. I like the snow. Nobody's out there. This picture to me just said peaceful. It just really said peaceful. I like the colors in it. This is sunrise, correct? Yeah, this is sunrise. And it just, I just think this capture is so nice. And there's a little roundness to, I guess, the horizon or the land or whatever. I don't have a problem with that, but it's a very, very beautiful, peaceful picture with great colors. Very nicely done.
Very good shot.
Congratulations.
So congratulations to our winners and placed in honorable mentions. Going to move on to the monochrome category now. We have 37 images. No, 36 images. 5 places and 5 honorable mentions. First up, Sheer Alps, Neil Shapiro.
Very nice. I'm a black and white person. I like black and white photography. I just, my first thing was, where was the photographer standing to take such an image? The tones are good. I think it's a little bit dark over to the left-hand side, but those clouds, that snow, very nicely done. The texture of the rocks. I almost think it could have a little bit more information about this ledge, you know, this rock, this mountain. I think I would like to see a little bit more, maybe have it almost more of a landscape type image as opposed to a portrait, but it's very nicely done. Great tones.
Next up is Clematis, Barb Lawton.
Nice. You know, people don't think to do flowers in black and white sometimes. And this was, and it's very, very nicely done. And you can see some of it is, some of the bottom is a little bit distracting, you know, because I see another bud and the bud is okay, but underneath it's a little bit distracting, but I think it's the tones of this is very nice. It's very nice.
Next up is Black versus White, Sharon Heffler.
Yes, I see what the person did here, what the photographer did here. It's one image and they were able to split it and then merge it back together, or flip it and merge it together. Nicely done. I think it's a little, I think it could use a little bit more contrast to it. I'm not sure what I'm looking for on this. I see it's look like it has some grain to it. And but I think if you had just not, you know, like in the bottom, in the middle there, you could see where it's the same image, just what is it, when you kind of flip it, transformed. that part in the middle at the bottom kind of, to me, takes away from it, and also where the buildings connect in the middle there. But it's a great idea. There's somebody in my camera club that does these all the time, and they're very, very interesting images.
Next up is These Teeth Bite, Barb Lawton.
This I liked. I kept looking at this one because it's very simple, it's minimalistic, and it's minimal. Well, you know what I'm talking about. It's just, you know, very simple, but you really see those edges of that saw, and nicely done, black and white. Nicely done. I was wondering what the little half circle was in the back, but very nicely done.
Next up is Katerina, Doug Mitchell.
This was a nice image too. I like the background of this. You know, I guess it was shot in an abandoned building. And I like her expression. Her face is very pretty. The lighting on her is very nice. I was wondering if you used monolight or if that's natural light coming through the window. You can see this was a graffiti area. They, you know, they might have done a lot of graffiti with this, but this is nicely done.
Next up is Rose After Rain, Linda Tomasulo.
This is a nice high key, very nice high key. The only thing, you know, when I talked about things that you've seen before, this is one of them. It's a great image. This would be an image that I would blow up very, very big. And, you know, it would work well like in a house that's being, you know, that what they say, that they're staging, you know, where they want something neutral, and this would be a perfect picture for that. But again, this was something I've seen before, so it's nicely done, but you know, I saw some others that I felt were just a little bit stronger.
Next up is Old Man of Hoy Seastack Orkney, Donna Smith.
This is a part of that other, I believe, that other image of that one second or first place before. This is it's a little bit flat. I'm not sure about what's going on in the front. This one was just flat for me. It didn't have the tones of flat. You don't see, the tones aren't really there. I think this is just one that you can play with a little bit more, but I know this is the one from that castle, I believe. I'm not sure, and you can correct me later. But this one, I found the tones to be a little bit flat, and then the foreground didn't do anything for me with this.
Next up is Laundry Day, Sharon Silversmith.
I like this one too. I like this. I don't know. I think I was looking for more. The laundry is a little bit blurred, soft, and the tones are a little bit black. I would maybe pump up the contrast with that, but again, that's just my opinion. But I like the subject matter. I do. And I can see it's overseas somewhere.
Next up is Climbing, Margarita Hill.
This, I think this is a good picture. I'm not sure, the interest of the subject to me was not there. This, you know, you see the texture, which is very good. You can see it's up close and personal of a building, but I'm not sure about the subject matter with this. But I think there's an idea there that could be worked on a little bit more. And again, more contrast in terms of the building. The leaves are very, very sharp, but the building itself isn't. But I like the fact that the photographer looked at the building, you know, got close up on the building. These are one of those pictures where people say, what are you looking at? you know, and why are you looking at it? Why are you taking a picture of that? This is something that's good to take a picture of. I like the lines, those diagonal lines in there. I don't know, I think I would just do it a little bit different, but I think it's a great, great, great start for this. I would play with this a little bit more.
Next up is Fraternal Twins, Joan Heffler.
Yeah, this was, again, I like when people use black and white or monochrome for flowers. You usually don't get that. But there's a lot of things in the background and underneath that are sort of distracted. I would maybe take one port, you don't need both portions of it. Maybe use the flowers to the right and crop in on that, or crop in on the flowers to the left. We don't, you know, it's almost like there's a couple of pictures in here. And, you know, just be aware of your background and what's happening underneath your images. But because there's too much going on in the background, we have some stems there, we have some stems and some leaves at the bottom. I would choose one or the other. Sometimes we think we need to keep all this information in, and we don't. You know, one thing I've learned from judges myself in the past when I first started competing was crop, you know. But we want to leave, we want to leave information thinking we're giving a lot of stuff. Like these leaves, these flowers on the right, I like the way they're formed. I like the shape of those better than the ones on the left. So I would really crop in on that part of it and play with that.
Next up is Pod Babies, Robert Neer.
I like these. I like this. This is very well done. There was another one, and I don't know if it's the same photographer, but there was another one that was even a little bit closer. It focused in on one thing, and it was very, very nice. This is very well done. Very well done. I don't have any criticisms for this. You know, these are milkweeds, I believe, and nicely done. Nice, very nicely done.
Next up is Trees and Fog, Kim Koza.
This was nice too. I mean, all you have is lines going up, and that's nice. Just straight lines. Very well done. I would maybe add a little bit more tone to it, a little bit more black, and show more tones. I know it was a foggy day, keep that fog in there, but maybe just add a little bit of contrast. But this is another very good pictures, because you don't see the tops of the trees, you don't see the roots of the trees, you just see that bark, and that's really nice. Those trunks and that's really nice.
Next up is DC Reflecting Pool, Linda Tomasulo.
I like this image because usually when people take pictures at the reflecting pool, they're smack dab in the middle. They're usually on the Lincoln Memorial, and the Washington Monument is smack dab in the middle. And then you can, if you just turn just a little bit, you can see the Capitol. What I liked about this was that it was showing the left-hand side, you know, where people tend to, I'm trying to figure when it was so empty like this. It's very, very nice. You have the bicycles there. I like the perspective of this image a lot. I really do. You have a couple people walking. You can see the World War II memorial, or it looks like they had started. I don't know if they had finished it. Very, very nice. Very nice. No, they don't need any birds.
It's an inside joke. Next up is Parallel Universes, Alan Wiggin.
Yeah. This is nice because you got two men looking at their phones. One looked like they're, you know, maybe a student. He's very casual. He's in shorts. The other one is maybe working, and that's all they're doing. It's just standing there, but they both have something in common in spite of everything. The one on the right, he's in shadow. And that's okay because you can see him. That's not a problem. Yeah, there's not too much I can say about this, but yeah, I guess you could say parallel universes. The floor is, I would darken the floor maybe a little bit, or maybe add a little contrast to the floor, if that, but it's a good street portrait, yes.
Next up is Zoe Doug Mitchell.
I like the tones in this. I like the mood of this picture. She looks a little sad, but that's okay. It's sort of like it looks almost like a dream sequence. Her legs seem to, that's a leg kind of blends in with the curtains. But it's a nice portrait. I like the room. It's nice. I like this. I like the softness of this photograph.
Next up is White Feather, Kim Koza.
The feather. I kept looking at this picture. I think it looks like it was like you used like a high pass process on this. Yeah, this was a high pass. Yeah, it was a little bit too contrasty for me. But it's a great close-up of a feather, and I guess it's on some grass. But it's nicely done, but I think to me, it was like over sharpened for me.
Next up is Sombrero Hombre, Jana Kaywood.
Yeah, this one, I couldn't go by the title on this one, so I just was looking at, I know people sometimes stack rocks for different reasons, and maybe the photographer came across these already stacked. I'm not sure. I think that it's a little bit soft. I like to see more tones in it, but I like the shallow depth of field. But then in the front, you have the cone. I would take that out, maybe crop it up a little bit more. Take it out, that way. But it's a good picture though. But I'd like to see more tones in this different shade, more shades of black and white.
Okay, next up is Have a Glass of Swirl, Joe Catronio.
Yeah, I like this. I like the swirl image. For some reason, I guess that's just like a board in the back of the glass, or and you swirled it, using Photoshop. I think I like the technique a lot. But for some reason, I just think I would have, no, I like it. I do. It's interesting. It's very clear. But it was something that was throwing me off about the white board on the left. But that's how you get your swirls. So.
Next up is Wave of Grain, Sean Sullivan.
Nice image. Very nice image. I like the border. I like the tones. I don't know if that was taken with natural light. Just a little distracting is that little line towards the bottom where I guess part of the grain had died, or it's stripped or something on the lower right-hand, going towards the lower right-hand corner, but I think it's a very nice image. Very nice.
Here. Next up is Skyscraper, a multiple exposure abstract, Joe Catronier.
This was interesting. I like this image. It's a little flat for me. And then I thought about, what if you transformed it a little bit, if you made it again a horizontal, because if it's an abstract, then you don't have to know what it is. I don't have to know it's a size skyscraper or anybody else, but I like the technique that was done for this, and it is very nicely done.
Next up is the Fairgrounds Exhibit Building, Rich Schreibstein.
This was nice. Again, I like those tones. It's not a, I hate to say to keep crop, because I mean, it's your picture, but I would maybe just come in, and I think the reason why the photographer didn't crop it on the right, because they wanted to keep that tree in there, but I would bring it in just a little bit and maybe bring in the foreground. The foreground is not necessary, but it's a nice picture. It's a nice picture.
Okay, next up is Budding Beauty, Joan Heffler.
Yeah, this one, nice depth of field. The leaves seem very contrasty or sharpened, and the buds are a little bit soft. So I don't know whether or not that was just in the post-processing. But I like this. It's different. It's different.
Next is Along the Coast, Bill Lanahan.
The very nice image. I like the subject of the image. I think it's a little bit flat. You don't, I think you could bring out those rocks a little bit more, especially the ones on the left and the one next to it. You can't really see it right. And because I think there's a lot of texture there. That sky is really dramatic, but it's flat, and it's not the tones. You're not seeing enough of the tones, and I think you have some good tones up in there. You have the water that's washing up on the sand, but maybe maybe that could be cropped out a little bit. Just get it to a certain point. You don't need to come back as far as you have, or maybe crop out some of the top of that, the sky, the part of the sky at the top. And I'm trying to see, because I'm seeing a little crookedness, but I think I would work with this. I would play with this a little bit more to bring out those rocks in the and take away some of the foreground, and maybe even some of the sky, but not where it's coming down to where the sun is trying to creep through. Good picture though, good picture. Nice place to be, I can see that.
Next up is Corner Smoke, Rich Schreibstein.
Yeah, I like this one too. I don't know if they saw the photographer or what, but they're just, and I guess they were vaping because there's so much smoke there, unless it was cold, and it might have been that too. But this is a good street image. And the guy that's facing towards you, you don't even, he's not necessarily looking at the photographer, but he is looking straight ahead. And then you have the guy that's looking away, with his back to us, and the image on the back of his jacket is interesting. It's like the Grim Reaper. I like the fact that you can see the smoke. They're not paying you any attention, but they're in the image. I like that.
Okay, next up is A View Down Under, Phil Olivo.
This was a good picture also. The lines, the repetition. I've seen images like that. But I do like, and I'm wondering, I thought this might have been one of those pictures where you took one sided and made it took one picture, made two pictures out of it like the other one. But the tones are good, the lines are good, the repetition is good, the vantage point is very good, very nicely done. I like the lines in this. I don't know if you have a competition on repetition, structure, shapes, or something like that, but this is very well done.
Okay, next up is Bargain City, Bill Lanahan.
This, I wanted to see more of what was going on in this area. You know, this is Bargain City, so I guess it's closed up. But I'd like to see more of the street and what's going on in the street. Nice picture though. You know, these are those type of buildings that you won't see after, and they have some kind of history to them. I don't mind about the wires. I don't mind about the fact that it's closed down or anything, but this building has a story, and I'd like to see a little bit more of the story of this building.
Okay. Honorable mentions. First honorable mention, Heading to the Farm, Jonna Kaywood.
You know how I like the picture of the one in Washington, D.C. with the monument? And I said you were to the left, the photographer was to the left. It was the same thing here. And I could just see these leaves just flying up. You could see all the way down this road. I like the tones of this. You don't, you know, I'm sure it's fall. You don't have to see the colors in this to know what's going on, or what time of year this is, of course, of the leaves. But it's just I was just drawn to this because it's just taking you down the road. And I just liked it. I like the fact that you're to the right of the image and not straight down the middle of the road. And that part I really liked. Great tones again.
Next honorable mention is Last to Leave, Robert Neer.
This is that, I don't know, Robert, if you're the same person that did the other ones with the milkweeds, but this one I really liked. You know, that you caught the delicateness of the seed pod and everything. It's really nice and great tones. I like this a lot. I'm focused a little bit with the, you know, I would maybe try and darken down at the lower right-hand corner, take some of those stems out a little bit, or darken them or whatever, but I went straight to I really did go straight to the middle. But I could go, you know, that part on the right-hand side and a little bit at the bottom, I just would maybe darken that a little bit, but the tones of this is so nice, and the closeness of this is really, really nice.
Okay, next honorable mention, 1915 Duesenberg Boat Tail IndyCar, Dow Smith. That's a mouthful.
Yeah. I like panning, and this is a great panning shot. This is a nice panning shot. You stop the motion, but you could see the motion go, you know, based on what's going on around, but you really caught this. Looks like they're going really fast. Very nice, a little hot on the front near the 25, but nice panning shot, very nice. And panning is very hard to do a lot of times.
And next honorable mention is Wooden Chairs, Joan Heffler.
This is just a great black and white image with the chairs. They don't have to be in order. You know, sometimes people say, why don't you put them in a certain order? Or maybe you should have lined them up this way. Well, no, I don't know if you did it, if you lined them to turn to the side or not, or this is just the way they were left. But, you know, you can see the grain of the chairs very nice, very nicely. The wood grain is very nice. The house, the shutters, you see reflections. This is a nice image, very nice and well done. Good tones. Nice subject.
Last honorable mention is Follow the Tracks, Sean Sullivan.
It looks like you were very low down photographing this, Sean. I like the
Camera was, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. I like the repeating patterns. You know, these tracks are very deep. And then you took me all the way out. And then at the back, you have patterns in the back. And I just like the tones of these. I like it's good contrast, great leading lines, good subject matter. Very nicely done. You just keep going on.
And our winners in 5th place, Bird Feeder, Alan Wiggins.
I like silhouettes. I like silhouettes. And this person looked like, I didn't see him so much as feeding the birds as he was just deep in thought. It was him and the birds, but it just seems like he was really thinking about something and was deep in thought. And that's, I just like that. It's dark. And I got the impression maybe it was taken early in the morning or at sunset, but this person was just, by himself and in thought. And that's what I like. I like the subject of this. I really did.
Okay, in 4th place, G is for Giraffe, Phil Olivo.
I hope these are 2 giraffes. But what made this for me was that giraffe with his neck arched the way he did. I mean, it just seems so different. And then when I kept looking, I said, are these 2 giraffes or is this a composite? But it looks like it's 2 giraffes. I hope it is. One looks like a baby or a younger giraffe, but this is just the composition of this, the subject of this, the way that, the impact to me was the way that giraffe on the left was really stretching his neck. And, I just have never seen that. So I thought that was really well done. And you didn't do black and white. You did like a sepia tone, and that's nice. Very nice.
In 3rd place, Up Close and Personal, Claudia Jakubowski.
We see a lot of cat pictures, but this cat fills the frame. It's, this cat looks like he means business too, but I like the fact that it fills the frame. It's good contrast. He's serious. You got right up and you can see in the eyes of the cat, I believe the person photographing him. So, I just like the fact that you look, we see a lot of pictures of cats. They may be laying down, you catch them, you may get the eyes, but this photographer just zoomed in all the way. And I like that. And you fill the frame with it. And so it's looking at a cat up close and personal. And I like that about it.
Okay,
I like
2nd place, Fallen Branch, Claudia Jakubowski.
Another one. I like the fog of this picture, and that in that branch, that tree or branch on the left, look like it's grabbing out to the right hand side. That's what I was seeing. And I like the fog. I like the tone. I like the mood of this. I just thought it was it's a minimalist picture, but I just thought it just worked. And again, to me, that branch on the left looked like it was grabbing out, like it could be fingers or something grabbing out towards the right. And the reflections are very nice on this. Very nice mood picture. Very nice.
In 1st place, Tri-X Dreams, Neil Shapiro.
This one I liked immediately because I've been dabbling in film again. And been dabbling into developing. Right before the pandemic, I was dabbling in processing my own film. And I looked at these rollers and I could never get those to work right for me. But it looked like it was a dream sequence. And I just think it was very, very nice how it was done. Very nice. And, again, it has that moodiness. It looks like a dream. It looks like a dream. And being new to trying to have my film connect on one of these rollers, I could never do it. So I went to the plastic ones. But I like this. I like this one immediately when I saw it.
Congratulations to Neil and to all the rest of our winners. And everybody's images were fantastic. And thank you, Janine, for judging, and your comments were appreciated.
Thank you.
We'll stop sharing now.
Has
Any questions?
There were many, 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 I'm gonna say it again and again, there were many, many good pictures here. Some struck me a little bit differently than others. But I thought as a whole, I like the color palette of a lot of the pictures that were done. And I thought that was really good. And the tones of the black and whites were good. They really were. But I enjoyed looking at these pictures this time. Well, I enjoyed it the last time. But, and I see one of the pictures that somebody converted to a black and white. I've seen it in color. Joan Heffler, yeah. That was one of the pictures, yeah. And that was one of the ones I said, maybe try cropping it a little bit. But again, this is just, these things are very subjective. So it's just what I feel, and I can't tell you how to do your pictures, but I can tell you how I feel about those pictures, and
well, thank you, Janine. That's much appreciated. Neil, you know what you need to do. And the next week is one of our regular speakers. It seems Mark Bowie will be presenting, and it'll be our last meeting of the year, actually. So I'll see everybody there. All right. Talk to everybody next week.
We have two more meetings in December.
That's what I
No,
thought.
I don't think so.
Yes,
Well,
we
you need
do.
to read your newsletter,
We can
Sean.
focus. I left out Ian Plant. I left Ian Plant
My
off.
calendar's not up to date.
We have Mark Bowie, and then we have Ian Plant.
I read my newsletter, Sean.
Well, it's not on my calendar, so it's not on the
No, it's
website.
not on the calendar. That's right, because I
I will have to update the
I
website.
screwed up.
Okay.
Thank you,
I'm
Janine.
wrong.
That was wonderful. Thanks for the comment.
Yes, Janine, thank
Yes,
you.
and
Janine,
have
good comments.
a very
Well, I
happy
just
holiday and a happy new year, and everybody be safe.
Yep.
You
Me
as
too.
well.
Take care and
Thank you.
thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night.